Wrong, 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 wrong.
Doctor,
Oh, hello, Jentel.
is everything okay?
No, everything is not okay. I've been working my way through this card catalogue trying to sort out the library. I've gotten to T, but I keep forgetting about these temporal codexes, books that keep rewriting themselves. So the minute I get them catalogued, they change.
So you're just ripping the pages out?
Ah, don't worry, they grow back. They are made from trees, after all. Plus, temporal books, so they were technically already ripped out and never... I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Was there something you needed?
Well, yes, there was, actually, but... Are you okay?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Because you've been in here for a week now, Doctor. After...
I'm fine, Jentel. But thank you for your concern. Now, what else can I help you with?
I just thought I'd let you know something popped up on the scanner screen. I couldn't quite read it, but it looked like some kind of coordinates. Universal Area 989.
989. 989. Now, where did I see that recently? Hang on. Q, no, R, no, S. S, yes, I think this was it. Let's see. Index, universal areas. For universal area 989C, Skaro.
Doctor, what is it? What's wrong?
I have a horrible feeling we're about to find out.
TARDIS immobilized. Surrender or be exterminated.
Disgrace. You can't treat people like this. I haven't had a single meal since I've been here. No free Wi-Fi. And as for your accommodations, well, don't expect more than 2 stars from me on TripAdvisor. In fact, don't even expect 1. Anyone would think this is a prison cell. I demand to speak to the concierge.
Silence.
Oh, so I finally get some attention, do I? And from a Supreme, no less. My, aren't we honoured? How much longer are you going to keep me in here? And where's Jentel? If you've laid 1 plunger on him, I will...
Rest assured, Doctor, your companion is quite safe.
Davros. I should have known. I was wondering when your saggy chops would pop up again.
You may leave us.
I obey.
It has been a long time, Doctor. But first to the business at hand.
Yes, where's Jentel and the TARDIS?
As I said, rest assured that both your TARDIS and your friend are quite safe. But what of your other companion, the young girl?
She's dead, Davros, and very recently too. So I'd choose your words very carefully, because whilst you might have me locked up in a cell, you should know how dangerous I can still be, and you are on very thin ice right now.
My apologies, Doctor. Putting aside our differences for the moment, allow me to offer my sincerest condolences.
You'll excuse me if I find that hard to believe, especially as I had to give my life to save her because of your Daleks.
Ah, yes. Well, believe me or not, Doctor, that was a regrettable incident. A rogue element who decided to take matters into their own hands. But between your escape and the Emperor's intervention, they have been dealt with.
And you expect me to just forgive, forget, and trust?
Not at all, Doctor. Given our history, your distrust is perfectly understandable. So perhaps a show of good faith is in order. This is Davros. The Doctor is to be released into my custody and will not be accosted by guards. This order cannot be countermanded by anyone but myself or the Emperor. This order is absolute. Please, Doctor, if you would step this way.
I don't know what you're playing at, Davros, but I'll go along with it for now. But if you really want me to trust you, take me to Jentel.
You shall speak to your friend very soon, Doctor. But first, there is something you need to see. The reason you were brought here. Please, this way.
Ah, hello, old girl. Good to see they've taken care of you. Now, I'm gonna hazard a guess. There's a force field between me and the TARDIS, correct?
No.
You know, the old double bluff was never your strong suit, Davros. Tell you what, here's the key. If you're so sure, you go and unlock it.
Are you satisfied now, Doctor?
Keyed to both yours and the Daleks' genetic patterns, no doubt. $5 Altarian says I get a shock the moment I come over.
Ever the cynic, Doctor. Not only will you not be shocked, but when you realize you can leave, you won't want to.
Right. So let me just get this straight. You've left me with access to my TARDIS and stood down all of your Daleks, leaving me with no obstacles to get Jentel and just leaving.
That is correct. Oh, forgive me, Doctor. Here is your key. And your sonic device and other confiscated items are over there.
What's your game, Davros?
No game, Doctor. In fact, the circumstances behind your being here could not be more dire. Let me show you. I'm sure by now you have worked out where we are.
Even in holographic form, I'd recognize Skaro anywhere.
Skaro, yes, Doctor. But we are currently not on the planet. We are here. The main Dalek fleet here. The Emperor's palace ship here. And my command ship that we are currently on here.
Let me guess, Jentel's on the Emperor's Palace ship?
Correct, Doctor.
And I'm going to guess that my immunity will be revoked the minute I leave this ship?
Once again, correct.
Makes sense. So, why are we here, way above Skaro, instead of being down there? Is this the result of the Exodus?
In a way, Doctor. Tell me, what do you know of the Exodus?
Not very much. Skaro was in the path of a solar flare and needed to be moved, which was ridiculous in itself, and then the fleet would follow to wherever I'd moved it to. That's pretty much all I got told by Big Red.
Yes, that would seem about right.
Which raises the further question of why did you leave the fleet slap bang between Skaro and its second sun, assuming that's where the flares are coming from?
Because not long after the rogue element broke away, the flare disappeared.
Disappeared? What, you mean it just fizzled out?
No, Doctor. It disappeared, and yet it is still there.
But if I'm reading this right, it means that not only are these flares still going on, but they're being put a few light seconds out of sync with the rest of time.
Correct.
But then that means they're not a threat to Skaro. They never were. I mean, they're occupying the same space, yes, but they're not actually colliding with the planet. So why did you need to move Skaro?
You disappoint me, Doctor. You have missed the more pertinent question.
Where are the flares going?
Exactly. And now I will show you, while you will not be in a hurry to leave.
But that... Right. Cards on the table, Davros. Scientist to scientist. What is happening here?
Exactly what it appears, Doctor. Skaro is sitting in perfect orbit on the edge of an event horizon point of a black hole.
But it can't be.
A black hole, which is light seconds out of sync with the rest of the universe, and yet is drawing solar flare energy into itself from our second sun across time without drawing in the planet.
But it can't be.
And yet there it is.
But, Davros, this is impossible.
And now you understand why you are here. This is far beyond any scientific capabilities known to the Daleks.
What, and so you want me to be your scientific advisor?
A junior scientific advisor, if you please. I'm afraid the senior role is already spoken for.
Alright, you got me. I'll admit I'm intrigued. But let's assume I decided to go along with all this. I reiterate my earlier question. What's to stop me just getting into my TARDIS, getting Jentel, and leaving? I mean, you managed to transmat a Dalek squad onto my TARDIS, which is no easy feat at the best of times. So leaving here is obviously possible.
Situationally possible, Doctor. It is possible to move across space and time to this point, but it is only possible to move across space from this point. We simply waited for your TARDIS to momentarily occupy the same current time, immobilized your TARDIS, and drew you back through space here to Skaro.
So what happens if you try to travel through time from here?
I believe you have already seen that, Doctor.
Ah, the rogue ships. Yes, one crashed scout ship in 1683 London, and the rest of the fleet severely crippled. I'm guessing, same time we're in now, space, probably quite a way off, but after they tried to travel through time specifically from here.
Astute as ever, Doctor.
And I'm further guessing that seeing as you're here, travelling down to Skaro is impossible.
We sent a small fleet of scout and time ships to investigate. They all disappeared, just like the flares.
Drawn one light second across time into the black hole.
That is what appears to be the case.
So to summarise, we are currently sitting in the orbit of a planet that is itself in the orbit on the edge of an event horizon of a black hole, one light second out of sync with the rest of the universe. We don't know why it's here, who created it, and we can't get anywhere near it or the planet without falling into it. Meanwhile, I could get into the TARDIS, get Jentel, fly away from here, and then, once I'm clear of the black hole, travel back into the vortex and escape. But the moment I leave, you just immobilise my TARDIS and bring it back here, and we're back where we started.
Perhaps now my show of faith makes a bit more sense.
Yes, I should have known it was too good to be true. Alright, Davros. I don't trust you or the Daleks as far as I could punt either of you, but even I'm willing to concede this is serious. So allow me to return the show of good faith. We go to see the Emperor, tell him I'm on board with this plan, and then I speak to Jeantel. Deal?
As you wish, Doctor. Come. I have a personal transmat to the Emperor's throne room this way.
We can't get down to Skaro without falling into the black hole as well. And so that's about the long and short of it, Jentel.
Do you think they're telling the truth?
If I hadn't seen it for myself, I mean, it's all so outlandish and impossible that it couldn't not be true. But they're definitely hiding something, they always are. They've told me the truth, yes, but they've not told me all of it.
So now what do we do?
We go along with it. There's nothing else we can do. We're in a situation of mutually assured cooperation. We can't leave, and despite how it might seem, they're holding you to ransom to ensure we play ball. On the flip side, they can't get out of this situation without my help, and they know it. So much as a scratch on your shiny self, and I won't help them.
But you have a plan to escape, right?
Oh, of course. Well, I'm working on one. And you know it, don't you?
Why are you shouting?
Sorry, dramatic emphasis. There's no way this conversation's private. Anyway, do you have any ideas about how...
They are aware we are monitoring them.
Do not underestimate the Doctor or his companion. We may have to cooperate with them, but they are still our captives.
But they suspect the truth.
They suspect we are hiding something, that is true. They do not, however, have any ideas what we are hiding. The Exodus will continue as planned, and the Doctor will be none the wiser until it is too late for him to act.
This is good. The Daleks will survive. New Skaro will rise.
Right, here we go. First things first, we need to double check that black hole is benign. Do you mind if I open the viewport?
Be my guest, Doctor.
Oh,
Is everything all right?
it's just the black hole.
Ah, yes. Even I must admit, it does take some getting used to.
Yes, well, no, well, sort of. It's a Time Lord thing. Black holes make us uneasy. They break down time and the barrier between the physical world and the vortex in an unnatural way. It's just wrong.
And yet without them you would not be here. Your stellar engineer, what was his name? Omega?
Omega was a ruthless, insane crackpot with a god complex. He might have been a fantastic scientist, but he was just as wrong.
You speak as if you had known him, Doctor. Long before your time, surely.
Enough chit-chat, Davros. We can't stand around admiring the view all day. I need to finish setting up my remote monitoring console.
I assure you, Doctor, we have thoroughly checked the black hole. Despite it being something of a contradiction in terms, it is perfectly stable.
A black hole is never stable, Davros. Even you should know that. With any luck, my TARDIS will be able to pick up on anything you might have missed.
Very well. What can I do to help?
Take this, plug it into the wall console over there. If we can reroute the ship scanners through the TARDIS, we should be able to boost the signal.
The line is secure, Doctor.
Right. Well, I'm guessing you've already done a local scan of the black hole, but what about across the time field?
Regrettably not, Doctor. However, now that your TARDIS is here, you will be able to assist the controller.
The controller?
Greetings, Doctor. It has been a long time.
Well, aren't all the old faces just popping up today? First you, Davros, now the Dalek time controller. I'm expecting Lethbridge Stewart to walk through those doors any minute.
I am assuming I was summoned for a purpose, Advisor.
Yes, controller. Now that we have access to the Doctor's TARDIS... My apologies. Now that the Doctor has given us access to his TARDIS systems, we would like to connect you up to our relay and combine your scanners with the Doctor's to assess the black hole across the immediate time field.
Very well, Advisor.
Good. Right, now hold still a moment while I connect you up. Oh, and don't even try and think of accessing my TARDIS systems. It wouldn't end well for you.
Of course, Doctor. Ah!
I did warn you.
Was that really necessary, Doctor?
Look, Davros, your insurance of my cooperation is that I only have immunity on this ship of the fleet. My insurance is enabling the security protocols of my TARDIS to protect it from unwanted invasion of privacy. Fair's fair, after all.
I do not, of course, agree with your methods, Doctor, but I will overlook it this time. Controller, you will not make any further attempts to gain access to the Doctor's TARDIS systems.
I obey, Advisor.
Right, well, that's the scan started. Make yourself comfortable, boys. This might take a while. See you later.
Where are you going, Doctor?
TARDIS. It's alright for you, Davros. Your chair goes everywhere you want. But I've still got neck ache from that bed in your cells, and all my comfy chairs are in there. Besides, I was in the middle of cataloguing the library when you disturbed me. Might as well get on with something while I'm waiting for the scan to finish. Besides, TARDIS's state of temporal grace will balance out the feeling of that black hole. So if you don't mind...
Excuse me, Doctor.
Oh, what is it now?
May I enter your TARDIS?
You what?
I have always been fascinated by this machine of yours, Doctor, and yet in all the many years we have known each other, I have never been inside it. May I?
You know what? On any other day, I'd say not on any of my lives. But seeing as the security protocols are stopping your timey-wimey friend over there, and any of your little tin pots from actually doing anything to the TARDIS, why not? Please, step this... Oh, I'm sorry. Hover this way. And here we have the cloister room. Are you sure I can't offer you a cup of tea? Or change of oil?
I am fine. Thank you, Doctor. Amazing. I can't remember the last time I saw plant life outside a lab. It feels so natural.
Yes, it is a little bit overgrown, but I like it. It's a great place to come and sit and have a think. So, Davros, any theories?
I beg your pardon, Doctor?
The black hole. I know we usually end up doing the nostalgia tour whenever we meet up, but we've got bigger things to discuss this time. So, scientist to scientist, what do you reckon? Any ideas?
I must admit, it had occurred to me that perhaps your people may have been involved.
Truth be told, the thought had crossed my mind, but in this case I don't think so. This is an insane piece of spatial manipulation, not to mention a serious disregard for the laws of time. And do you really think they leave something like a black hole unattended? Especially right on the Daleks' doorstep. If harnessed, it could be a source of unimaginable power. No, this isn't their doing.
But surely they are aware of it. If we are voicing ideas, then how can I be so sure that you are not covering for them?
Oh, come on now. You saw my reaction to that thing.
A fair point, Doctor.
Besides, me and the Time Lords aren't exactly on the best of terms these days. If I thought they were anywhere near here, I'd be heading as fast as possible in the opposite direction.
Ah, so the rumors are true then.
You shouldn't listen to rumours, Davros. They are often widely exaggerated.
Maybe so, Doctor. But I must admit, it is fascinating to think I am sat in the presence of Gallifrey's most infamous murder.
Like I said earlier, Davros, we're not doing the nostalgia tour. Anyway. It's time we were getting back and see what our controller friend has found. Well then, timey-wimey old mucker. Found anything interesting?
As suspected, the black hole extends across a far wider time field than our sensors alone were able to detect.
So assuming we were able to move Skaro, which I again reiterate is insanely impossible.
Improbable, Doctor, at least compared to the situation we currently find ourselves in.
Granted, but assume we could move Skaro. If we moved it out of the way of the affected time field, then it would solve all your problems, correct?
Theoretically, yes.
But...
Skaro is not just in orbit on the edge of the black hole. It is sustaining it.
How is that possible?
Skaro's own gravitational force is in perfect balance with the black hole's own gravitational pull.
But a black hole is gravity in stellar form. There is nothing stronger than it. So how can it be balanced with Skaro?
That is unknown.
Oh, what a surprise.
However, based on the combined readings of my own sensors and your TARDIS, I would theorize it is being sustained from the other side.
From within the black hole. But nothing exists within it. Just the void.
I don't know, Davros. We know the void exists between dimensions. My people prove that. Hell, we even named it. But there is a theory among the Arcadian chapter's temporal and scientific research circles that it may be possible to bridge the void by crossing from one dimension to another. I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but in the absence of a better answer, I'd say that Skaro is acting like some kind of keystone, holding the bridge in place. If it were to be moved, well, Skaro will be the first thing to fall into it, followed quickly by the fleet.
Are you suggesting that Skaro is under attack from influences from another dimension?
Currently, no. You've seen it yourself that the black hole is drawing energy, matter, anything that comes close to it, as you would expect. But it's also drawing it across time. Again, I'm just theorizing, but I'd say it's using whatever energy it can to gather it for something.
To prepare for an attack, then?
I'm not going to lie, it's a distinct possibility, Davros, but equally, it's possible that on the other side of that black hole is whoever or whatever opened it up, and they're drawing energy from this universe to power a hospital for the sick and dying. Although I highly doubt they know where they're drawing that energy from.
Then, in your opinion, would you say it presents a very clear and present danger to the Dalek?
I'm not helping you start an interdimensional war, Davros. Especially against an unknown entity or entities not of this universe.
Of course not, Doctor. If anything, I agree it would be futile to engage in hostilities with an opposition we knew nothing about. You were engaged as an advisor for a reason, and whilst we may be on opposing sides ourselves, from a scientific perspective I would gladly value your opinion, as it will no doubt prove useful in dissuading the Emperor from launching an attack.
Turn on the charm all you like, Davros, but I'm still not trusting you. I don't buy this whole bygones be scientific bygones act.
Your protest is noted and accepted, Doctor. Now, if you would be so kind as to give me your opinion as to what should be done.
I'll give my opinion to the Emperor, not to you.
I am the Emperor's advisor. It is my duty to relay your opinions to him, lest I remind you of your place, Doctor.
Then allow me to remind you of yours. I could run off at any time.
At which point we will bring you straight back.
And we'd be right back to square one, which is exactly my point. So if you want things to go smoothly, I suggest you start cooperating. Because the simple truth here is you might be holding me and Jentel to ransom to ensure our cooperation. But that doesn't mean you hold all the cards. You are the ones who need my help.
Very well, Doctor. You will be taken to the Emperor. Controller, You will accompany us.
I obey, advisor.
Call forth the prisoner.
I thought I was your advisor.
Silence. Step forward onto the dais.
Initiate the mind probe.
What's the matter? My word not good enough for you?
I said silence. You will speak when prompted. The mind probe will ascertain the truthfulness of your words. You have requested an audience with me. Why?
Lord Emperor, your advisor asked for my opinion regarding the threat posed by the black hole. However, I thought it best to tell you them myself.
Very well. Time controller, what are your findings?
The black hole is being generated by a force outside our own dimension, balanced by Skaro's own gravitational forces. It appears to be drawing energy and matter of any kind across time into itself. As a consequence, any attempt to relocate the homeworld will most likely result in its destruction.
Do you concur with this advisor?
Yes, Lord Emperor. The combined readings taken from the time controller and the Doctor's TARDIS prove this to be true.
Very well. Prisoner, present your findings.
Do you really have to keep calling me that?
Whilst you are on my palace ship, you are my prisoner.
I would suggest both caution and candor when you are addressing the Lord Emperor, Doctor, for both your safety and your companions.
Very well. In my scientific opinion, aside from the obvious dangers, there is no way of knowing what potential threats the black hole or whatever is causing it presents. As such, I would advise that the best course of action is to do nothing. Forget Skaro.
This is unacceptable. Explain or be exterminated.
Caution and candor, Doctor. Caution and candor.
Yes, my apologies, Lord Emperor. I meant no disrespect. What I meant to say is that Skaro is not currently accessible, but it is still there. To all intents and purposes, whatever is drawing whatever into that black hole, seemingly not interested in Skaro. So whilst it is not accessible, it doesn't appear to be in any danger. That is, unless you move it or do anything with it.
Is that all?
Pretty much.
You may leave. I wish to confer with my advisors. Guard, yes, Lord Emperor. Escort the prisoner to the holding chamber. My advisors will join you shortly. I obey. Move.
You're alright, keep your globes on and watch where you're pointing that thing. I'm not a blocked sink, you know.
The mind probe determined truth. Do you both concur with the prisoner's findings?
Yes, Lord Emperor.
Then Skaro is lost.
Regrettably, for the time being, yes.
Then the exodus will commence as soon as possible.
It has already begun, Lord Emperor. New Skaro has been found.
Hello? Davros? Anyone? I thought I was your star pupil. Why am I back in this cell?
My apologies, Doctor. Your insight has proved valuable, but I'm afraid there has been a slight lack of admission regarding the rest of your purpose here.
Is this where I'm supposed to act surprised? Give me some credit, Davros. Just because I let you into my TARDIS doesn't mean my lack of trust in you has waned. So come on then, why am I actually here?
You know why you are here, Doctor. You are here to help us deal with the black hole. That has always been the truth. However, what was not revealed to you was our plans. The real truth of the Exodus.
Ah, yes, the mysterious Exodus. Well, seeing as you have me as quite literally a captive audience, enlighten me.
Your involvement in this situation was to indeed prove to the Emperor that Skaro could not be saved. You were the second opinion, as it were. However, now that that has been verified, the second stage of the Exodus can begin. Colonization of New Skaro.
I think I can see, although I don't like where this is going, but carry on.
If you are thinking that we would intend to invade another planet, then normally you would be right, Doctor. However, in this instance, due to weaknesses posed by the Dalek fleet, that is not possible. With this in mind, we have been able to find an isolated and desolate planet, far in the outer reaches of the nearest galaxy, discovered by one of our long-distance remote scout ships.
Well, providing the planet really is deserted, then I have no objections. might not like the Daleks, and as much as I'm inclined to leave you all here, there's still the matter of Jentel, my TARDIS, and the fact I'm not about to passively aggressively commit genocide by abandoning the fleet to the depths of a black hole. But how exactly are you planning on getting there? You might have enough power to perform a simple spatial shift on a few Daleks to get them into my TARDIS, but not on just one ship, let alone a whole fleet. With that black hole, a time hop is out of the question. And the fact you used a remote scout ship tells me that you won't be able to make a journey that distance under your own power.
Once again, astute as ever, Doctor. Which brings me on to why you are once again needed. And perhaps less likely inclined to help.
I'm not giving you access to my TARDIS. Besides, how would that even work? I couldn't even materialize around the fleet without making a time hop of my own, and that's not possible.
I had also come to that conclusion, Doctor. We have already found the means to relocate the fleet. We simply require your help in putting our operation into action.
Go on.
We have detected a ship in orbit around the planet we intend to colonize. This ship.
A Class 30 star cruiser? What's a tourist ship doing orbiting a desolate planet? And how did it get there? That's light years from the nearest colonized planet.
That is what we wish you to discover, Doctor. But there is more. In answer to your latter question, according to our reading from the scout ship, the cruiser has hyper-acceleration capabilities.
Ah, I think I see now. You want to use their hyperdrive, whatever they have, to instantly relocate the fleet to the planet.
Precisely. Just as we were able to access your TARDIS, we have enough power to transmit you on board the cruiser. Once on board, you'll be able to use the hyper capabilities to relocate the ship back here to us.
No deal, Davros. According to your readings, there are thousands of life signs on that ship, so I'm not about to jeopardize their lives to save yours. You really think I'd bring that ship here only for your pets to exterminate them all? Find another way.
Yes, I had a feeling that would be your response. So I'm afraid this is where I must insist. You are still a prisoner of the Daleks, as is your companion, and we also have your TARDIS. You cannot escape, Doctor. Your only route to freedom and the safety of your companion is through cooperation.
You really do turn the charm on and off like a switch, don't you? You can threaten me all you like, but this is a stalemate, Davros. You can't make me do anything. And the moment you let me out of this cell, immunity or not, all hell will break loose, I promise you.
That is where you are wrong, Doctor. You are our pawn, and you will do as you are asked whether you want to or not.
Oh yeah? And how exactly do you propose to do that?
How is your neck, Doctor? Still aching?
What's my neck got to... What have you done?
It was anticipated you wouldn't be cooperative, and so it was decided to take measures in the event of needing to coerce you. A simple command chip, not unlike our robotization units, only much smaller. It will be our means of communicating with you without others knowing. You will retain free thought, will, and movement, unless it is decided that you are becoming detrimental to the operation, at which point we will take more assertive control of your actions. Allow me to demonstrate. Initiate spatial shift of the prisoner.
Davros, stop this!
You will obey the Daleks, Doctor. The Exodus begins. New Skaro will rise.